friends, welcome all to this session. Namaste. So let us go into the topic. And so let me share my screen. So karma and reincarnation, these both are linked together. So if you want to understand karma, you can understand karma when you understand reincarnation as well. So these two laws, there are 6 spiritual laws. The law of consciousness, law of reincarnation, law of karma, law of constant progression, and what's the first one? Law of karma, first is law of consciousness, law of karma, law of reincarnation, and the fourth is speeding up the progress, law of hastening the progress, and then there is a law of uncertainty, and there is law of infinity. So there's 6 spiritual laws. And among these 6 spiritual laws, the law of karma and the law of reincarnation, these two laws are fundamental laws one has to understand once for all. And the more you understand these two laws, the more you are helping yourself in your spiritual journey. So the agenda, what is the agenda? What is that we are going to discuss? So we'll discuss about the law of karma, the dynamics of karma, and the karma categories. What are the categories of karma and the intensities of karma? And again, we'll discuss about reincarnation, pre-birth planning, karmic agreements, karmic debts. So we have karmic agreements, we have karmic debts. So we're going to understand all those things. And finally, we are going to integrate. After understanding all these things, what are we going to do with our understanding? Because we all want to understand karma so that we can integrate in our day-to-day life. Any understanding, whatever you learn, if you're not integrating in your day-to-day life, there is no use in it. So it's just a theory. A theory doesn't help you. So how to integrate, how to deal with your karma, and how karma and enlightenment is interrelated. And in other words, how can you make your present situation a better experience? How can you deal with your present challenges without any suffering? Yes, pain is there. Suffering is also there. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice. So the more and more you integrate the law of karma, the more the suffering goes away. So this is the agenda of today's topic, my dear friends. And first, what is karma? Karma is a Sanskrit word which simply means action. And some people think action means only the physical action. No. Action refers to what we feel, what we think, and what we speak. All relates to action. So, what does the law of karma fundamentally say is, it's a very simple law. It's a very profound law. What you do comes back to you. So that is the law. For every cause, there is an effect. For every effect, there is a cause. So what you do has its repercussions. And again, what you face back has its own cause, going back again. So that's why you say karma is like a loop, right? And it's very simple. Whatever you give, it comes back. It can be your thoughts, it can be your feelings, it can be your words, or it can be your actions. Whatever it is, it comes back to you. You think positive, positive will happen in your life. You feel negative, negative will happen in your life. You do positive, positive will happen. So in other words, whatever you do, it comes back. So you have to be aware of your thoughts, you have to be aware of your feelings, you have to be aware of your words which comes out of your mouth, and you have to be aware of your actions, and all are interrelated. That is the law. Whether you like it or not, whether you accept it or not, whether you understand it or not, whether you believe it or not, doesn't matter. The law takes its own course. So that's why it's a law. Like we have many physical laws on the planet Earth. For example, law of gravity. Law of gravity exists. Whether you believe it or not, whether you understand it or not, it doesn't matter. It exists. But the more you understand it, the more you get the benefit out of it. Similarly, this law of karma is a beautiful spiritual law. So the more you understand this law, the more you get the benefit out of it. And what are the types of karmas? So broadly, you can say there are two types of karmas, good karma and bad karma. So what defines a good karma and what defines a bad karma? Very simple. Whatever is your action. When I say action, you have to understand action composes of your thoughts, your words, your feelings, and your actions, your physical actions. Everything comes under actions. So the definition is very simple. Any action which you perform, it benefits another life form. That is a good karma. And any action you perform, it harms another life form. It's a bad karma. As simple as that. Now, what are the consequences of good karma and bad karma? In simple terms, the more you have, we all have both good karma and bad karma. We all have account. It's like a bank account. You have a debit and you have a credit. You know, it's like a simple account. So we all have done many bad karmas in many past lives. Knowingly or unknowingly, it doesn't matter. So sometimes we do a bad karma unknowingly. It still doesn't matter. It goes to your account. And sometimes you do a good karma knowingly, it doesn't matter. It goes to your good karma account. So if you have more good karma, then the results are in the blessings, the form of a good health, a good relationship, good finances, everything. So the good karma results in the blessings of your day-to-day life. And the bad karma results in suffering. The suffering can be your health, your ill health, your poor relationships, business failures, disasters, accidents, everything, so on and so forth. So these are the results of the bad karma. Now, what determines your actions? Why people behave in a certain way? Why people think in a certain way? Why people speak in a certain way? Why some people are negative? Why some people are positive? What determines one's own actions? So there are two factors which determines your actions. The first is the vasanas, and the second is the maturity of the soul. Let us understand a little detail about what is this vasanas. These vasanas are the inherent nature which we bring from our past lives. It is the residue. It is the residue from our past lives we are bringing in. For example, if you were, a king in your past life, so in the present life, even though you are not a king, neither you have a kingdom, but you still feel that your feeling will be like more like you are superior, you are authoritative. Your feelings will be more like a king, even though you are not a king in this lifetime. It is because of vasanas. These vasanas are the personality, the residues of your personalities from your past life, your personality traits from your past lives. Okay. Similarly, for example, if you were a slave in one of your past lives, so in this life, even though you are not a slave, you are an independent being, but still you will have the traits of being a slave. You will not be confident in life. You always feel that somebody is overpowering you. You always feel you are helpless. So these are the traits you are getting from your past lives, because in one of the lives you taken that personality, and the vasanas, the residues, come from that. So that's the reason some of we all behave in a certain way, we all speak in a certain way. So this is called vasanas. And the other aspect of vasanas is because this residue produces the thought. This residue inside you produces the thought, and this thought leads to the desires, and that desires leads to your actions. So this is all interrelated in this way. And the second most important aspect, why people are behaving or speaking in a certain way or actions in a certain way, is according to the maturity of the soul. So you see, like, we all take average of 400 to 450 lifetimes from the time we have incarnated for the first time on the planet Earth till we complete the cycle on the planet Earth and we become enlightened and we exit the planet Earth cycle of life and death. So from the first lifetime till the lifetime of enlightenment, where you have come out of the cycle of life and death. So an average, this is an average, it is not written on the rocks. It is just an average figure. Some people take 200 lifetimes, some people take 50 lifetimes, some people take 1000 lifetimes, but the average is 400 to 450. So during these lifetimes, the soul goes through many experiences. The soul takes many challenges, many situations. And the more the experiences the soul goes through, the more the soul learns. So the more the soul is learning, the more the soul is progressing, the more the soul is graduating. So like we have the age for the physical body, we also have the age for the soul. The soul who has just incarnated, the soul who has just incarnated just only once or twice or thrice, very few incarnations. So we call it as an infant soul. And after many incarnations, after many challenges, many lessons, the soul graduates to the next level, the baby soul. And next it graduates to the next level, young soul. And then to the next level, a mature soul. And then to the next level, a old soul. And then to the next level, a transcendental soul. And finally, the soul completes the cycle of birth and death. So once the soul completes the cycle of birth and death, there is no compulsion for the soul to come back because the karma is finished. So once the karma is finished, then there is no necessity for the soul to come back. But the soul can choose to come back as a teacher. So that is out of choice. So we have two things, karma and free will. Karma is related to destiny and free will relates to our soul evolution. So two aspects, my dear friends. The first aspect is destiny. Destiny is related to your karma. And the second aspect is the free will. Your free will relates to your soul evolution. Your capacity we all have free will. Everybody has free will. But because of the burden of the karma, we don't know how to use the free will. But a person who is mature, who understands life, he knows how to use the free will. So destiny is there, free will is also there. So I will discuss in detail at a later stage about this. But first, to understand the maturity of the soul and how it is related to our actions, in the beginning stages of infant soul, baby soul, young soul, the soul inevitably does more and more bad karmas. Why the soul does more bad karmas? Because in the beginning stages of the soul evolution, the soul is focused on power. The soul is focused on survival. The soul is focused on conquest, domination, authority. So when the soul's focus is in these areas, then naturally it leads to a lot of bad karmas. If you're focusing on power, conquest, authority, then you will end up in more and more bad karmas. And as the soul progresses, the soul understands what to do, what not to do. So with the maturity, the soul shifts the focus to one's emotions. Emotion. I need to feel good. I need to do good things. I want to be a happy person, right? I want to lead a meaningful life. So the soul focuses more on emotions. So when the soul focuses more on the emotions, then the soul starts repaying back all the negative karma. The soul has to repay the negative karma. And once the soul starts repaying the negative karma, then there is a balance. And more the balance happens, the more the soul is graduating towards enlightenment. So these are the two factors, my dear friends, the vasanas and the maturity of the soul. This determines the basis of our actions. Now let us also understand what are our daily actions. Every day, in our day-to-day life, there are many actions we do unconsciously. And let us understand what are the day-to-day activities which contribute towards the bad karma. Unconsciously or consciously, it doesn't matter. But karma is a karma. So the first is our food intake. So most people on the planet Earth, they are not aware of this aspect. They consume the food of pain and suffering. So when you're consuming the food of pain and suffering, so what does that mean? That means what you do comes back to you. So if you're butchering an animal, if you're terrorizing an animal, if you are giving suffering and pain to an animal or a bird or a fish, to any living being, you are giving pain and you are taking that food, the food of the blood you are taking in. So the suffering is going to come back to you. This is the law. What you give comes back to you. So our food intake has to be very sattvic, or it has to be based on gratitude and compassion. So the food which is based on gratitude and compassion is a plant-based food. The plants produce the food, but they never consume the food. They produce it for the others. With a lot of compassion, with a lot of gratitude, the plants produce the food for the birds, for the animals, and for the humans to consume. All the plant-based food is the food of gratitude from the trees, from the nature. So when you consume that food, so you are radiating that vibration back. And when you're consuming the food of pain and suffering, your life will be full of pain and suffering, because what you give comes back. Every time you are eating meat, you are contributing. You are directly contributing to the suffering and to the violence and to the killing of the animal kingdom. So because you are giving that, that is going to come back to you in your life. And there is no room for discussion here, my dear friends. It is the topic of karma should not be understood from the mind. The topic of karma should be understood from the heart. If you want to understand this about the food aspect, the only way is experiment. I was a meat eater by birth. I used to eat a lot of meat because I was born in that family. But after I came into meditation, I naturally became vegetarian. I became vegetarian because my consciousness shifted. My awareness increased. The more I did meditation, the more my awareness increased. The more my awareness increased, the more I can take clear choices, what I want, what I don't want. So I became a vegetarian very naturally. And when I became a vegetarian, that's when I understood the beauty of this law. Before, I used to think, eating meat is part of the food cycle. The goat eats the grass and we eat the goat, and then we go back to the soil, and then from the soil the plants come again. It's like, we thought it's a food cycle. Everything is part of the ecosystem. This is what I studied in the school. This is what they taught me, that everything is part of the food cycle. But my meditation brought me the awareness. And because of my awareness, I became vegetarian. And after I became vegetarian, I understood the beauty of karma. How I understood the beauty of karma? Because before, I was having a lot of fears. I was not confident in my life. And I used to have so many fears. Fear of survival, fear of unknown, fear of the future, fear of uncertainty, and fear of the relationships, and fear of non-acceptance. And there are so many fears inside me. And because of that fears, I couldn't able to express my potential. Whatever is my potential, my soul potential, is never expressed. And the life was a struggle. But when I became a vegetarian, I noticed in 6 months' time, all my fears started coming down. Bit by bit, step by step, all my fears started coming down, and I started becoming more confident in life. I started trusting life. You have to understand, my dear friends, the opposite energy of fear is trust. Where there is fear, there is no trust. Where there is trust, there is no fear. So the opposite energy of fear is trust. So ever since I became a vegetarian, I started noticing, I started trusting life. I started trusting in myself. I started trusting God. So I started trusting whatever happens, happens for good. So this is the beauty I realized. And then I understood, wow, what a beautiful law, this law of karma. What you give comes back. So if you want to understand how your food impacts you, how your food impacts your current life, how your food impacts your soul evolution, you have to do an experiment. So my suggestion would be just do an experiment for 1 month. For 1 month, don't consume any food which is of pain and suffering, and just experiment. Consciously make a choice that I am not going to consume the food which comes out of fear, suffering, and blood. Consciously make a choice just for 1 month, and you will notice that your life is no more the same. Your fears are reduced, and you started trusting life more and more. This very simple experiment will reveal the truth. So this is my sincere request, my dear friends. So this transforms your life. This transforms your life because you have understood karma. If you really want to understand karma, you have to do this experiment. And then the other aspect the people do in their day-to-day life is interference. They interfere in others' affairs. Interference is in the form of criticism, judgment, nosiness. So we all judge, consciously or unconsciously, others. We all criticize others, and we poke into others' affairs. Nosiness is poking into others' affairs. So when you do that, it comes back to you. The more you criticize, the more you will be criticized. The more you judge others, the more you will be judged. And it is the karma. What you give comes back. As simple as that. And let us go through a little bit of understanding what is criticism. Criticism is imposing your will upon others. Why do somebody criticize? What is the very nature of criticism? Is you are trying to force your opinion on others by saying what you have done is bad, what you have done is good. You should not do that way. You should not do this way. So that is criticism. And getting others to act the way you want them. Whatever might be the motive, there might be hidden motives also why you are criticizing. So whenever you are criticizing, that means there is no acceptance. So when there is no acceptance from your side, then you cannot expect acceptance from others, from around you, from your surroundings. So you have to understand this. What you give comes back. And again, nosiness. Nosiness is a way to collect information. We always interfere in others' affairs by nosiness. We collect the information of others. We are more eager to see, what is the others' information, like failures. What are the other failures? What are they doing? What are they doing? Because this is more of gossip. This is more of poking your nose into others' affairs for your own personal benefit. Because people feel so happy that they see another person not doing well in their life. They get some kind of satisfaction, because that is the negative radiation they have. So when they have that attitude, they are again attract more and more negativeness. So we have to reflect upon ourselves. So the most important aspect is we have to reflect upon ourselves. What am I doing? So to reflect upon ourselves, we need more awareness. And how this awareness comes is through meditation. So let me go to that part later. First, let us understand the very basics of karma. Again, good karma. How do we lead a life, a day-to-day life, where we make sure we do more and more good karma? Is to live a life of non-violence. This is the teachings of Jesus Christ. This is the teachings of Buddha. This is the teachings of all the enlightened masters. All the major religions, they spoke about compassion. They spoke about non-violence. Because if you live a harmless life, your life will not be harmed. If you live a life of kindness, your life will be full of kindness. So this is the fundamental aspect of every major religion. But all the major religions are misunderstood. All the major religions are misunderstood because they don't understand this law of karma. Jesus spoke about this karma. Jesus spoke very clear. What you sow, so you reap. Whatever you sow, you will reap that. If you sow an apple seed, you will get an apple tree. You will never get any other tree. Whatever you have sown, you will get only that. Sowing an apple tree, sowing an apple seed, you cannot expect a mango tree. It is impossible. This is what Jesus said. As you sow, so you reap. You want good things in life, then you have to do good things. You have to seed all the good things in your life. This is what Jesus spoke, the greatest truth from an enlightened master. As you sow, so you reap, so shall you reap. And no interference, no complaints, no gossip. If you are gossiping and if you are complaining, that means you are not understanding the bigger picture. If you complain against somebody, that means you don't understand the bigger picture. When you don't understand the bigger picture, then there is complaint. So your inability to understand the bigger picture leads to criticism and to gossip and to complain. So when you do that, you are going to get that back. So in essence, non-interference. So how do you get this non-interference? You get this non-interference as you evolve, as your soul evolves, as you understand these spiritual laws, then you understand that I should not interfere. I should not interfere because I don't want any interference from the others. You see, whatever we do is for ourselves, isn't it? Whatever we do is for ourselves. Why should we meditate? It's for our evolution. Anything you do, whether it is it is for earning money, going to a job, or marriage, or children, anything you do is for your own self. Superficially, you might say, I'm doing it for others, but the deep down, it is for yourself. Even when you do service, people say, oh, I'm doing service because I want to help others. I want to make sure the others are getting benefited. Yes, the others get benefited, but why you want to do? You want to do because it gives you joy. Eventually, it gives you joy. Serving others gives you joy. So that's why you are doing it. So everything comes back to us, my dear friends. So even why am I taking this session? What do I get? I get a great joy. When I'm doing this session, I get joy. My soul is in joy. So that's why I'm doing it. So in turn, what it means fundamentally means we have to be responsible for our actions. The taking responsibility, this is the key word, my dear friends. You have to underline this word, responsibility. Karma is equal to responsibility, taking the responsibility. The more you take responsibility for your own life, the more you take responsibility for every situation in your life, then you can understand the karma to the depth of it. If you don't take responsibility, then there is always a blame game. I'm suffering because of him. I'm suffering because of her. I'm suffering because of the situation. I'm suffering because of the environment. I'm suffering because of the financial struggle. I'm suffering because somebody else is misunderstanding me. So when you try to put the blame on others, when you don't take the responsibility for yourself, then suffering is inevitable. But when you take the responsibility, then you come out of the suffering. So how to take responsibility? You take the responsibility by understanding the truth. What you give comes back to you. If you are happy in your life, you created that reality. You are happy because you gave happiness to others. You are living a harmonious life. You are living a happy life. So when you are living a harmonious, happy life, that is what you will feel. That is what you will get it back. That's what the society will give you back. That's what the whole of the universe will give you back. And if you are not happy, and if you are suffering, and if you are going through a lot of hardships, you created that reality. That is also the truth. Your suffering is your responsibility. Your happiness is your responsibility. If you understand this fundamental fact, then you are enlightened. So today's discussion and tomorrow's discussion is in this direction, is in this aspect of how to take responsibility, how to understand. The more understanding gives us the clarity. Understanding gives us the clarity, and the clarity empowers us to take responsibility. So that is the equation, my dear friends. Understanding is equal to clarity. Clarity is equal to your willpower to take the responsibility. And as I said, we have two things, destiny and free will. Some people ask me, some people say karma exists. Some people say, no, karma doesn't exist. What is the truth? Does karma exist or karma doesn't exist? Truth is always paradoxical. Yes, karma exists. At the same time, karma doesn't exist. How? Karma exists for the people who don't understand karma. Karma exists. And for the people who understood karma and who know how to use the free will, then because of the free will, they come out of the karma. So karma is there. That means destiny is also there. Free will is also there. So for the question, does karma exist? Yes, karma exists. Karma exists for the people who are not yet enlightened. Very simple. Karma exists for all the people who are not yet enlightened. Not enlightened means they are not in the truth yet. And karma doesn't exist for the people who are already enlightened. Karma doesn't exist because their actions are in alignment with the divine. So when your actions are in alignment with the divine, there is no karma. So now let us understand a little bit about free will. What is free will? We all have free will. Everybody has free will. Free will is your choice, your ability, your capacity to exercise your choices. We have infinite choices in front of us. In every given situation, we have infinite choices. But for the person who is stuck in karma, he cannot see the choices. Because of his own karma, he cannot see the choices. There is a blocks. He cannot see. But the more you work on your karma, the more you can see the choices. Or just with understanding, with very understanding, and just by doing meditation, you raise your awareness. When you raise your awareness, you can see the choices. So meditation gives you, helps you to exercise all your choices. So that's where meditation helps. So if somebody asks, okay, karma is there. I don't know what I have done in my past lives. Yes, I might have done many, many wrong things in my past lives. But what are the options in front of me now? Do I have to suffer? Do you have to continue suffering? No, you don't need to continue suffering. You have a choice. You can use your free will to overcome your destiny. Yes, free will overpowers the destiny. We all have destiny, but the free will overtakes the destiny. The free will has the final say. So how to use that free will? The answer is meditation. So if you ask the question, is there anything I can do today? Yes, you can do. And what you need to do is raising your awareness, understanding the fundamental aspect of life and understanding the truth. So when you understand the truth, when you are in alignment with the truth, then you can burn your karma. You don't need to go through suffering. And the most important fact, my dear friends, karma is not punishment. So many people, they think karma is punishment, but no, karma is not punishment. Karma is a beautiful tool. It is a beautiful tool which helps us to learn soul evolutions, to learn the soul lessons. So the more you learn the lessons, the more the evolution happens. So the foremost thing we have to understand about the karma is not a punishment. It is a beautiful tool which helps us in our soul evolution. So what you do comes back. You do anything bad, bad comes back. When the bad comes back, you understand how painful it is, how hurting is it. So once you experience the pain, then you don't want to do the pain. You don't want to give the pain to others. So you learn not to give pain. You see, because of that particular action, you have given the pain came back to you because of karma. And because the pain came back to you, you understood that is not what you should give to others, because you already experienced the pain. You know how painful it is. Because you know how painful it is, you don't want to give it to anybody. So that has empowered you into compassion, and that has helped you to evolve. So every challenge we face in our life is because of karma, and every challenge helps us to learn a lot of lessons. So karma is not a punishment. So karma is there to help us to learn the lessons. So this is a very important aspect. So the main difference between, again, when it comes to the free will, the main difference between the humans and animals is animals, they live by instincts. Animals, they live by instincts. When they are hungry, they eat. They don't mind. They kill another animal, they eat, because that is their instincts. And every action, whether it is reproduction, whether it is their sex, or whether it is survival, everything is instincts. They follow their own animal world order. But the humans, no. The humans have the free will. The humans have the ability to discern. The humans have the ability to contemplate what is good and what is bad. And the humans have the free will, and the animals don't have the free will. Because the humans have the free will, the humans have karma, and the animals don't have karma. So that is a major difference. So again, the souls have free will. On the physical plane, the souls can postpone their karma and not to create new karma for the future. When they appropriately know how to handle the karma, they can either postpone the karma, or they can take up the challenge and they can learn the lessons. So they have both the choices. The free will on the soul is there. And once all your karmic accounts are balanced, all the bad karmas are neutralized, then you are out of the karmic loop. So, as I told you, the misconception of a karma is, it's a key to liberation. If you want to liberate yourself, it is a key. So it's just like a mirror. You can see the baby monkey is looking into the mirror, and what the baby monkey is seeing is the reflection of its physical. Similarly, if you see why there are certain challenges, why you attract certain people in your life, especially the relationships. Relationships are a major indicator. What relationship you have with yourself and what relationship you have with others, that is a reflection of you. And when you're able to see that reflection with awareness, then that becomes the key for your liberation. Because if you can able to see, this is not what I want, then what you want, you do that. See, there are two aspects. Again, for karma, there are two aspects. What you don't want, don't give it to others. What you don't want, don't give it to others. And what you want, you have to give it to others first. So this is the law, my dear friends. So you don't want suffering, so don't give suffering. So if you don't give suffering, suffering will not come back to you. Yes, but you want happiness, you want peace. So you have to do that first, give that first. If you want good friendship, you have to be a good friend first. Unless you are a good friend first, you cannot have good friendship. We all want loving relationships. So if you want loving relationship, you be a loving partner, you be a loving person first, then you receive back. So the two aspects to understand the karma is, what you don't want, don't give. But what you want, you give it first. Because when you give it first, again, the law of karma takes its course. What you give comes back. So this is the way to understand, friends. So again, there are categories of karma: Sanchita, Prarabdha, Kiyamana, or Agami. So there are three categories of karma. Sanchita means past, Prarabdha means current, and Kiyamana or Agami is future. What is Sanchita? Sanchita is, it's like a reservoir. It's a reservoir of all the karmas you have done in all your past lives. From the time you have incarnated for the first time till this moment, from the time you have incarnated, the very first time, until this moment, whatever the karma you have done, both positive and negative, it's all it's in a reservoir. It is called Sanchita. And Prarabdha means before the soul is born, the soul chooses, I want to take this much karma into the present life. Because the soul cannot take all the negative karma of all the lives, then it will be a disaster. The soul cannot sustain on the planet Earth. So the soul chooses, according to its free will, the soul chooses, this is the particular portion of the karma I want to bring into this present life. These are the lessons I want to learn in this lifetime. And for those lessons, I will bring this much of the karma. From the Sanchita, from the reservoir, from your own reservoir, you bring a portion of it. You decide before you are born, you decide that this is the karma I bring into the present life. And that portion is called Prarabdha. Prarabdha is something which is inevitable. It will happen because it is decided before you are born. That is your current lifetime karma. Nobody can do anything about it. It will happen. It will happen. The karma is going to manifest, but how you respond to it is again your free will. Okay. So first, Sanchita. Sanchita is all the reservoir. The second is the Prarabdha. The Prarabdha is what you have chosen to bring in this present life. And Kiyamana, the third category. So the Kiyamana means whatever the karma you do this moment, like you have brought in the Prarabdha, and how you react to that particular karma, how you face to that particular karma becomes your future. How you handle a particular challenge in this present moment becomes Kiyamana. So if you have not handled it well, so it creates more bad karmas for the future. So that is Kiyamana. So Kiyamana is that something which is going to happen in the future because of your present actions. So that is Kiyamana. And there is another category called Agami. Agami means you understand the bigger picture of karma and you want to make sure that you want to create a beautiful journey for the future. So because you want to create a beauty for your own future journey, you plan that and you do certain actions. So that actions you do to plan for a better future, that is Agami. So in other words, Agami is you are planning for your future. So you do it consciously. So that is Agami. So these are the categories of karma, my dear friends. And if you want to go through a little bit of examples, then let me blah, blah, blah. Okay, so let me go through the slides once again so that you can understand. So Sanchita, as I explained, is a sum of all karmas from all the lifetimes. And then Prarabdha is a portion of Sanchita which you are bringing in. And so whatever you bring in, that manifests as Prarabdha, manifests as destiny. Some people call fate and some people call destiny. That is inevitable. It happens to us. And because we brought in that Sanchita, our body mind conditioning also is accordingly to that way. Okay, so why we behave in a certain way, why the actions are in certain way, why our thoughts are in certain way, our desires are in certain way, is because of Prarabdha, because you have planned for it in this lifetime. And Kiyamana, as I told you, how you are responding to your Prarabdha is your Kiyamana. And Agami is planning for your future. You use your free will, you exercise your free will to plan for your future. So that is Agama. An example would be, if you are doing serious meditation today, you will be a better human. So that's Agami, your actions. And if you're doing good things today, you know the good is going to come back. Okay, friends. So that was a great experience for me to connect with all of you. So thank you very much.